There's so many directions to go with breastfeeding, and this week, the first week of August, is World Breastfeeding Week. So I'm doing a post around this, and it's basically Breastfeeding Week is to bring, it creates awareness around the importance of breastfeeding for proper development, of newborns and the support mothers need as well. So, welcome. This is Tara from Postpartum Nurturing, and I want to share with you that this is not about judgment. For any mother who chooses not to or is having challenges and has to stop, there is no judgment or shaming or blaming here. It's about bringing in up-to-date education and so that you can be better informed and prepared and clear about your breastfeeding goals. Because did you know that only 1/3 of women actually meet their breastfeeding goals? Mainly because of the lack of support. Women don't know who to ask, and they don't know how to ask or what their options are. We just seem to be so afraid to be thought of as a failure or incapable, and we don't speak up. But if we know who to ask and how to ask, it can be helped. So, then you've got the challenges of course, about, many women have to go back to work, and then you've got to sort of to have that time to pump and express and have your baby bottle fed with a carer. So if that's you, make sure that you speak to your employer and make sure that they've got a supportive breastfeeding environment set up, because it really should be in place for every mother. A place where you can go and express or breastfeed your baby if someone can bring them into you. So, let's be real, breastfeeding is a skill. It is actually a skill, and it can come naturally for some, and it can be challenging for others. So, how much a woman has been exposed to other women breastfeeding, either while you've been growing up or before you've had your own baby, will make a big difference. Basically, when it's a part of your environment, it filters into your subconscious. So, and if you experienced women having negative breastfeeding experiences, and you saw them in pain, or you heard them speaking negatively about it, then most likely you've taken that belief on yourself. Whereas if you have seen women who have had positive breastfeeding experiences, you will most likely have that positive association as well. Although, it's not necessarily a given. There's a lot of other factors that can be at play. For example, many women who have experienced sexual abuse, they might need so much more support if they've got the desire to breastfeed, but it's triggering past trauma. So, who are the right people to receive support from? This is one area that can be a bit tricky. So, there are a few options here though. First of all, if I might say, whatever you do, you want to avoid going to, your local GP or even some midwives or birth workers who haven't had any up-to-date training with breastfeeding, and it's because, no judgment on them, but it's because oftentimes they could have outdated information and might not be supporting you in the best way for you and your baby. There is a lot of myths and old-fashioned information still circulating. I have heard quite a few stories of midwives also being quite rough and insensitive and even disrespectful of the mother's body and breasts, and even with the baby when they're showing the mother how to latch a baby on. So this is one reason why having a breastfeeding plan in place is really important, especially if you're going through the hospital system. It can help you in this way, where you can get really clear, you handing over, your requests and have that honoured. So there are people, mostly women, but not always, who, like myself, have done breastfeeding training. through a course. I personally did mine through Newborn Mothers with Julia Jones, and we can help iron out some initial or general challenges and concerns that you might have. That could be help with latching, emotional support, just confidence building, myth busting. We can even refer you to other health professionals if necessary, if it's sort of outside of our scope. And then there are next level, they're called IBCLC, that stands for International Board Certified Lactation Consultant. It's a mouthful. And these people are updating their training, I think it's yearly, very regularly anyway, and they're qualified to assess and diagnose things such as tongue tie. So depending on the challenge, there are many health providers who can help you, and it's important to know that you aren't alone. There is someone there for you. Support around the home is, really important as well. It's vital, in fact, and especially if you have other children. So I wanted to share with you a couple of tips if you do have another younger child or a few other children to help you. So strewing, that is really beneficial. Strewing is having little play stations near your breastfeeding area. So keep the toys natural and simple, ideally made from timber and natural materials, because they're much more gentle on the ears, especially for you and your baby when they're knocked over. And have you ever heard Duplo or hard plastic toys fall? It's quite harsh, and it can be quite startling. And you don't want battery operated noisy toys. So keep a breastfeeding basket with you as well near your breastfeeding areas, with a full bottle of filtered water, with some protein snacks, and include containers or little dry snacks for your child or other children, because guaranteed, the minute you sit down to breastfeed, they'll be suddenly hungry. Audio books and music for your other children is also really easy to organise from your phone. They love dancing usually and listening to stories. And ask friends or family members to take your child or children for a little play or a walk, or just even in your yard for a little walk around. Invite your child, just walk around. And another one is invite your child to sit with you, and with their doll. They can pretend to breastfeed when they sit with you. My third son did this after we had our daughter, our fourth, and then our daughter also did this with our fifth, our last born, and it's so cute and special. They sit there and pretend to breastfeed and look after their little dolly while you're tending to the baby. So they're just a few tips to help you juggle the many things a mother has on her plate. And remember, if you have any questions or you want to know how to work with me, please contact me via the link in the comments. And Mama, may you have the joy and happiness that breastfeeding can bring. May you reach your breastfeeding goals, and just know that you so deserve the support. So reach out and be enjoying your breastfeeding journey. Many blessings. This is Tara. Bye-bye.